What's up, everybody? I know in my last video I said I was going to be putting out another video talking about my academics of this last fall semester, so that is what this video is going to be all about. Now, I know this might not be too interesting to a lot of you guys, but for those of you who are interested, I feel that this will be some very valuable information and is some good insight into kind of what college is really like and what to expect. So if this doesn't sound like something you really want to listen to or care about, that's perfectly okay. You can click off the video. Thank God we live in America. But yeah, let me go over to my computer and let's hop into it. So before I go more in depth, I kind of wanted to just give a quick overview of what this semester was for me. So this was my third semester at the University of Florida, fall 2019, and this is when things were supposed to get a little bit harder. Freshman year is really only challenging just because of the big adjustment it is from high school to college, just in, coursework and kind of just adjusting to life away from your families. But the second year of college, at least at UF, in the business program, is when classes themselves finally get to be challenging. And that's not to say that classes weren't challenging the first year. This is just to say that the course content itself is much more demanding and challenging, and kind of just a new perspective and ideology than you would have experienced before in kind of any coursework you've had up to this point. So because of this, I was careful not to take too many credits and kind of overwork myself. I stuck to the average and took 15 credits this semester. This was because I knew I was going to be taking financial accounting, which is known as kind of one of the more harder classes and kind of one of the weed out courses, especially with finance majors at UF. So I really wanted to make sure to give myself plenty of time and energy to focus on this class in particular and to not be too worried about any other classes that I was taking. And that's not to say that the other classes I was taking weren't valuable and didn't still require work out of me. They certainly did. But I was certainly able to focus the majority of my time on financial accounting, which is why I think I did so well in the class. So with all this being said, finally going into the details, I was fortunate enough to get a 4.0 this semester. It was a big milestone that I had been working towards for some time now, obviously. If you saw my video last year, I got a 3.93 for the spring semester last year, which was obviously still amazing, but I was aiming for the 4.0 and I was finally able to do it this semester, which I'm very happy about. Obviously can't get any better than that, but at the same time I know I worked very hard to earn that, and I'm just very thankful and happy that I was actually able to pull it off and be clutch on some very important finals. Okay, so now if you can see on the screen, I pulled up my 1.uf, which goes over all the classes that I'm in. So just to kind of show you exactly the classes I was taking and kind of what kind of classes they were. So obviously starting off, intro to financial accounting, that's the big one. 4 credits, it's an online class. It was all online, all the lectures, everything. The exams were Proctor U, which means you could take them from wherever as long as you had your laptop. So that's what it means for all the classes at, say, 80 to 99%, or obviously 100%. And no, I'm not an online student at UF. This is just kind of how the business classes are formatted at this point in your student career. There's just still so many people in the classes that it just doesn't make sense for them to have to host them live only. So most of these classes, they do have the live lectures that they give you the option to attend, but most people, including myself, prefer to just watch them online when it works best for them and their schedule. So going back into it, financial accounting, 4 credits. Next up, art appreciation, American diversity, and global arts. This is kind of one of those classes that pretty much everyone in college has to take at some point, that no one really necessarily enjoys or really cares about. This I had to take it just because I needed one more class to fulfill my diversity credits. This class was not too bad, not too challenging, again, all online. Next, principles of entrepreneurship. This class I really did enjoy. A great professor, super entertaining, and honestly just the course load itself was just entertaining and fun work to do. In that class, obviously, entrepreneurship, the format of it is you had to create a blog, and then all your assignments were just blog posts. So it was pretty easy to get out ahead and really finish ahead of schedule, and that's kind of what I did at the end there. When I had more time on my hands, I was able to really just knock everything out. But I really enjoyed that class. If you do go to UF, I would certainly suggest taking it, especially because it is 4 credits, and you really should end up getting an A. And then finally, Introduction to Information Systems, again, 4 credits. This was the only class I had where I had to go to campus at some point during the week, and you can see that there, Wednesdays at 4 o'clock. Everything else, it never gave me a reason to go actually onto campus, so I was kind of thankful for this just because it allowed me to have some social interaction academically speaking, so appreciated that. And that class was very challenging as well, but like I said before, I did get A's in all these classes, so I can kind of just go through them a little bit more one by one now. Okay, so I frankly don't know what is against school policy and what isn't, so I'm just kind of going to talk about the classes instead of kind of showing you, and not go too much into detail, but just kind of giving you my experience with the classes. But starting off with financial accounting, it certainly is a challenging class. Luckily, I kind of had a little bit of a background in accounting. I took it senior year of high school, even though the class really wasn't too challenging at all. We really only did it for the first 2 months of class, and then after that, our teacher kind of gave up on us. But so that kind of helped me with the first chapter or so of this college course, and then really I just knew, like I said before, that it was going to be a challenging class, so I really applied myself to it. I watched all the lectures, I did all the homeworks, I helped my friends when they were struggling with it, and kind of just I learned that helping them learn also just kind of strengthened my own knowledge that I was gaining from it. And so as it went on, each chapter I felt very confident about it, and very prepared for the exams. So the first exam I got a 97, which I was very happy about, and then on the other 2 exams I got a 90 and an 87. So ended up with an easy A just because the class was scaled down pretty significantly. It was like an 88.5 for an A, and I ended up with like a 93 in the class. So very happy with that, just because for that class, as a finance major, you need to get a B in that class or you can no longer be a finance major. So obviously wasn't even really on the verge of getting a B or of struggling to get a B, so I'm very thankful for that. Definitely took a lot of stress away from me because I know a lot of people were in that situation. So because of that, I was really then able to still focus my time on my other classes and make sure those grades were as strong as possible. Which leads me to the next class, which is art appreciation. As I mentioned before, this is kind of just one of those classes that isn't a joke, but no one really focuses too much time on it. It still is interesting. I do still like art, and I appreciate art, but still, I would still say I learned a lot through it. The essays were kind of challenging just because it was a high word count, and getting all those words out was kind of a lot, but overall the teacher was very fair with the grading, clear rubrics, so you kind of knew what you needed to do in order to get certain grades, and I ended up with above 100% in that class, so wasn't too worried about my grades for that. And then, and also speaking on that class, there was no big exams or tests. The final exam grade, I guess, was just an essay, so that was kind of nice to not have an exam for that class, to have to worry about and study for. It was just the essay, which I got done before Thanksgiving break, and then that was graded sometime between Thanksgiving and before I left, and I got a 9.6 out of 10 on it, so great grade and really boosted my overall grade. So like I said, got 101% in that class. So if you go to UF and you need a diversity credit, I would suggest you take that. And then finally, Principles of Entrepreneurship, like I mentioned before, definitely enjoyed this class. It's just a business elective, but out of all the other business electives, I've taken a couple. I'm going to take several more. I really did enjoy this one. Like I said, I enjoyed the lectures. I watched every lecture. I know a lot of people don't, and you really don't need to, but I enjoyed it. I felt like I learned a lot, not just about entrepreneurship, but about kind of all areas of business in total. And in this class, he says a lot that you get out what you put in, and I certainly say that would be true, just because for this class, you kind of are able to grade yourself, as far as it's really just if you do the work or you don't, and that's how you're graded. But the levels of work obviously can vary, but as long as you do some sort of work, you will get the credit. But for me, I really made sure to just put in effort on each assignment, and through that, I was actually able to make some great connections through the class, not only with the professor, but with big time business connections through some of the assignments, which I'm very thankful for now. And so this class, it was kind of challenging just because the scale for an A was a 95%, so I still got a 97.6, but the only reason it went down was just because there are like weekly quizzes, which were pretty challenging at times, I felt, and that's even coming from me who watched every lecture and paid pretty good attention, so that's really the only thing to watch out for. But really did enjoy that class and very thankful I took it. And again, the 4 credits for an elective is very nice, especially when you consider it's not too hard to get an A in it as long as you put in the work. And finally, Introduction to Information Systems. This class was nice just because it allowed me to get certified in Excel, which the other class because you have the option between this and one of the other kind of computer software classes. This class allows you to get certified. The other class doesn't really give you the option. So very thankful for that now. At the time, I was a little frustrated just because this was my lowest grade out of all my classes for the entire semester, just because you do have tests every probably 4 weeks or so, and the test brought down my overall average in the class, so I had an A- for pretty much the entire semester until the final exam. The final test, I was able to get 30 out of 30, and that brought my grade up to an A, which I was obviously thrilled about because that was the one class I kind of decided, you know what, if I get one A- out of all these classes, I will still be content. But when I saw that grade in gradebook, I was thrilled, and I realized that maybe I would actually get a 4.0. But like I said, it's really not too hard of a class. You get certified in Excel, which is good. I wouldn't say you really have, tons of Excel knowledge. You get certified, which is nice, but I still don't feel like an Excel whiz by any means. But I do certainly have some more knowledge now than I did 3 months before taking this class. And again, that class is 4 credits, and the other class that you can choose is just 3 credits, so it's kind of nice, the extra credit, just because of the GPA boost if you do end up getting an A. So guys, I see now I've been talking for almost 8 minutes in this segment alone, so hopefully I can throw in some clips and pictures to try to make it somewhat entertaining, but I know this video is very information based. That's kind of what I wanted it to be, not just for you but for me, so like I can look back maybe in 2 years and realize just how easy my schedule was at this point, because I know it only really gets harder. But that's what happened. That was my semester. Like I said, I got a 4.0, which I don't mean to brag about, like I'm not trying to come across as bragging, but it is just to show you that it is possible. I know GPA isn't that big of a deal in college, but to me it is. I want to go to a good law school or to a good graduate program, and for that GPA does matter. So yeah, if you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to either comment them or DM me on Instagram. My Instagram should be on the screen. I respond to everything, and yeah, if you guys have any questions at all, let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and UF, if you're watching this and I broke any codes or anything at all, let me know so I can fix them. I don't think I did anything wrong. I couldn't see myself doing anything wrong, but obviously I'm not trying to get in trouble for anything. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. 2 videos in 3 weeks. Wow, it's a new world record, but I'll see you in the next one. See ya.